This presentation is just one part of a video training course under the title of Photoshop for Photographers. The subject here is Adobe's Bridge, which is the natural browser and partner to Photoshop. In this video we're going to take a look at labels, star ratings and review mode. As you can see here, I have opened up a folder of completed images from 2018, and I've applied the 5 labels we have at our disposal. We can apply labels to one image or as many images as we want simply by highlighting the images first, and we can apply the labels via a right click, and this is where we remove labels too. Let me demonstrate that by highlighting the image in the center, right clicking, choosing a label, and there you can see no label, but I'll choose select and we get the red label applied. Right click, label, no label, and I can remove it. Of course, if I highlighted all of the top row or the top 5 that have labels, I can remove those in the same way. We can also add labels with a keystroke, and I tend to find this is just a little more convenient. For example, if I select this image here and hit Control and the number 6 on the keyboard, we get the red label. Control 7, we get yellow. Control 8, we get the green. Control 9, we get the blue. And as I said before, to apply the mauve label we need to go in via a right click and add the to do. If we take a look at the labels in Bridge Preferences, we also have a choice to remove the function key, so we can apply labels with just the numbers 6, 7, 8 and 9, and that can be quite useful too. Go to Edit, Preferences and Labels, and there's a little box. Here we require the Control key. Here we can just hit the number key and the labels will be applied. Now, labels are practical and useful because we can use them to highlight images for future editing. And we use the sort options to just show labeled images or even those that are not labeled. I can demonstrate that by going up to the top right of the screen. There you can see a little star. So here in the drop down menu I can say just show me the labeled items only, or in fact I can say show me just the unlabeled items, and to clear the filter it's right at the top. Stars can be applied in exactly the same way as labels, and in fact they can be applied with labels if you wish. In practice I find that labels seem to meet most of my needs, but to apply stars to the thumbnails you can use number keys as we did with the labels, or click and drag. If I just scroll down this group a little bit and we'll select one that doesn't have a label, if I hit Control and the number 1 key I get 1 star, and I think you probably know exactly what's going to happen here. 2, 3, 4 and the final one is 5 star. If I wanted to remove the stars and I highlighted all 5 of those, I can just move my cursor from right to left and wipe them all away, and I delete all of them. And of course I can apply them in the same way. And incidentally, Control 0 will also remove all the stars from the thumbnails we have selected. And of course if we apply stars to the thumbnails we can use those to sort images as well. As you can see along the bottom row here I've applied 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if we go up to the same option we use to sort for the labels, there you can see the options we have. I can show only the images with 5 stars, only the images with 4 stars and so on, and show any of them with more than 1 star. And at any time, just a reminder, clear the filter. I'll just re-scroll down, select all of those, Control 0 will remove all of those stars. Review mode is found via the icon at the top left of the screen or the shortcut key Control B, and it's going to display only the images that we highlight. So if I scroll to the top just for a moment and I highlight all of these images, and just for the moment I'll right click and I'll just remove those labels. There's the option we require. It's this one here, looks like a little deck of cards. Control B is the shortcut, and there we have review mode. So once we select the images to review and they appear on screen as we can see here, we can scroll through them using the arrow keys left and right down at the bottom left of the screen, or we can use the cursor control keys, those 4 little arrows on the bottom right of our keyboard. So if I go down to the bottom left of my screen here and hit the forward arrow, you can see exactly how we can scroll around and back. And again, if I just put my mouse or my graphics tablet pen down, I can use those cursor control keys to do exactly the same thing. For those of you using a graphics tablet, you can flick the images around review mode too. As you can see, I can just scroll them like we would with our finger on an iPad. I'm not sure how effective this is with a mouse because I use a graphic tablet on all of my computers. Now the whole point of review mode, of course, is for us to pick out the images we want to work on or use in a project. So as we scroll around, and I'll use the keyboard to do this, we can remove images either from the down arrow that you can see down at the bottom left of your screen, but in my case, if I use my left and right arrows to scroll around, if I decide that I don't want this image in my group that I'm selecting for, if I hit the down arrow, it's removed from review mode. Don't worry, it's not being removed from your computer. In addition, we can apply star ratings and labels as we're in review mode. So if I was to just click around and wanted to mark this one with, let's say, the 9 key, I get my blue flag. We apply the stars in much the same way, but we cannot click and drag the stars like we did before. We have to apply the stars with the control key and the numbers on the keyboard. In addition to these options, we also have a magnifying glass, and I'm looking for a picture where we can use it effectively. Let's have a look at the tree here. If I select it, I can use the pointer here to point to the part that I want to look at, and there you can see an enlargement of that particular area. Close it down with the little X on the bottom right corner and it disappears. So review mode is pretty effective because we can use it for all sorts of reasons. I'm just touching my down arrow here to remove that image, and I'm going to remove that one too. But let's say that I'm happy with these because they all seem to match one theme, perhaps not that one, so I'll just hit the down arrow, and I brought that magnifier up by accident, so I need to click to remove it. So what I can do here, I can label these, and the label will remain when we go back to Bridge. But of course, if I was sorting or reviewing images for a project, I do get the opportunity to go down here, look, and just click to make a collection. Let's do that. There's the collection made down here. It's automatically titled. We're going to look at collections next, but all of those images have been placed into that collection. I think we'll take a look at collections in the next video. Anytime I want to leave my collection, I just go back to the folder we was previously looking at, and of course all of those images are still there, but we'll cover that when we look at collections. If you've enjoyed this video, and particularly if you're watching on YouTube, check out the links below to our Photoshop for Photographers video course. Photoshop can be a challenging program to learn because it's so packed with tools and options for artists, photographers, graphic artists and many other digital skills. We focus our learning on Photoshop for the photographer, and that's going to help us Focus on what's relevant.